by that particular binary, that will be listed by lsoft command. Now in the same manner, in the same fashion, if you want to see what all registry keys have been opened, lsoft is only for Linux, but if you can find it on Google, lsoft.exe, then for Windows it's wonderful. I don't know if it's available. So in the same manner, if you want to see the open registry keys for all the processes, use reg obj keys. So with volatility, it's a module of volatility. See, now volatility is not getting updated, it's updating in terms of modules. New modules are coming, and might be one day you'll be aware, or you'll be coming that with the news that DL and OCX files can also be extracted from the IMD files, because volatility is still under development. It's into beta stage. It will never be into alpha stage because it will always be in development. To analyze the memory, it's not easy. It's very complicated, and guys are working on it day in and day out.
But solve this one, probably the term one. Is the third party, right?
Yeah.
Is it open source?
It's an open source. I told you it's an open source, fully free. I mean, you don't have to pay even a single penny for this tool. It's totally free, and you will be supplied with the source code. You can, if you are good in Python, you can change the source code and modify it whatever you want it.
So the following question was, if I am not aware of Python, still it should be good for me.
Yeah, but then you will be restricted on using whatever the modules are available. You will not be able to use the other modules. But if you are good in Python, see, I myself am not very bad in coding. I do coding only for myself, not for the company. I am very poor in coding. I am a lover of scripting, and I love scripting. But for Python, I am not getting the time to learn. Perl and Python are the very, very good scripting language. So if you can learn it, learn as quickly as you can, because the next tool that I will be showing you, it's purely written on the Perl, and it's the best tool. I mean, even a paid tool can't do that job what that particular tool will be doing. So anyways, coming to the point, that is reg obj keys. See. I have to answer PID is 964, and for 964 PID using PSDIS I can see what was the name of the executable corresponding to 964, and I can see what all registry files have been opened. Now, if you suspect that a malware is there into your process, you can see what all registry files are there. You can delete that registry file and you can out of that shit. Any query? Any questions? Yeah. Hey, it's okay. I'm more than happy.
It had rootkit capabilities. You're not going to see the process list, it's going to hide itself.
Right. Then for the rootkit, you have got this iStore, where you can do the more of the analysis into that one. Because in registry, the keys will be hidden, and if you want to see the hidden keys, you can't. It will be again as a digital iceberg. You have to use specialized tools for seeing the hidden keys, and you can do the.
Okay, so iStore is run on a live machine. In case you're looking at the image where it was rooted.
Sir, I'll tell you how my forensic investigation goes into picture. I'll take when I'm going to the client side, I'm given the custodian hard disk, it's up and running, the machine is up and running. First thing I'll do is, I'll take the volatile memory. The second thing I'll do is, I'll take the live image, not the dead image. That's offline. I'll not switch off the computer. I'll take the live image, and once the image is with me, I don't need that machine anymore. I can convert it to virtual memory. I can run that machine into my environment, to my company, and can see what kind of activities were going on that particular time. Whatever the network connections were, that will all be maintained when you are converting a NKS01 file to VMM or VMDK using live forensic tools. So you have a live environment you can do your activities again and again. No one will stop you to do the investigation because it has been converted into VMDK format, and you can analyze that. And once VMDK is corrupted, you again have the E01 file, NKS image file. You can convert from NKS image file to VMDK file and can achieve that task, whatever you want. Any queries? Okay. So I can see the keys as everyone comfortable with the registry, how registry works. what files constitutes registry, you will be it for sure. Okay? Everyone comfortable? Okay. You're not. I'll explain you how the registry works and what are the keys that will constitute your registry. Okay. So I've already explained this graph expression. That was the end of first module, that was Windows Memory Forensics. Now jumping to Advanced Registry Forensics. Okay, for you, or for the guys who don't know the registry structure. See, registry is the most important component of your Windows machine. If you are able to understand registry, you can tweak any of the keys and you can achieve your desired task. If you want to, change the settings, then you can go for the registry. If you want to if you have a very, it's a pirated Windows XP and you are not able to get the updates, right? What you can do is you can change the key, product key, and can with the genuine key and can extract the, and can get the updates from the internet. You need not install it with the genuine operating system, then only you will get it. You can just change the key and you will get it. So what are the registry files? What are the files that constitute registry? Going to the slide. Registry files are essentially databases containing information and settings for hardware, then software, users and preferences. For the hardware, it is HKLM, HK local machine, and that is being created by the system file. Then it's software, then it's users, whatever the activities a user do. Like there is a user push and there is a user Nikhil. Okay. Now push is doing one kind of activity and push is doing some malware, the activity that is not genuine, that is not to be supposed to be done in a corporate environment. And Nikhil is not doing it. Nikhil is just busy with the work, whatever is given, and this is a genuine guy. But push is doing some kind of malicious activities. So should Nikhil be punished because the evidence has been found into his machine? No. For analyzing these kind of activities, there is a key with the name ntuser.dat file that has been created in each and everyone's profile. So if you are looking for the user assist keys, you have to go for the ntuser.dat file for each and every separate user. Then comes the preferences. A registry file is a group of keys, subkeys, and values in the registry that has a set of supporting files containing backup of its data. In Windows 98, the registry files are named user.dat and system.dat, but now it has been changed in Windows XP to ntuser.dat file. In Windows Millennium Edition, the registry files are named classes.dat, user.dat, and system.dat. Now, most of the users are using Windows XP, so the registry files are available in C Windows System 32 folder. I've extracted all the registry files and I'll show you what all files constitute registry. So, coming to the folder of Windows, the registry forensic. Yeah, it's protected files. Now, if you want to extract this Windows registry files from the live environment, you can't extract it. And if you are shutting down the machine, it's of no use. How to extract it? So there's a tool with the name FTK Imager. Note down the name of the tool, FTK Imager. Go to File, Obtain Protected Files. So whatever the files are there that constitute registry, you can give the path where you want to store it, and it will be there under Protected Files. Then follow the file. Then I have got this SAM file, security, software, system, user dev file. And under users, there will be different users that are present into my machine, different profiles of the users that are present. And like for K or bar. See, I was talking about ntuser.dat file. For each and every user, there will be ntuser.dat file. Once the user has logged into the machine, ntuser.dat file has to be created, otherwise the machine can't work, because every kind of information related to that particular user will be stored under ntuser.dat file. Okay. Everyone clear? Any queries? Yeah. Okay. Now run as what user? It will be stored into NT user. So that particular user, I agree, but he'll be doing as run as. Agree? Run as what user? That user has to be there into the machine. Agree. But if he is using run as, then that profile has to be there. Then only he can run the particular.
Yes. Run as itself creates the user
Yeah.
profile.
Run as will create a user profile. That's what.
Run as creates the user profile.
User.dat file will be there. Yeah. No.
Even if you see the documents and settings folder, you would get to see that usernames folder there, like you have logged into the machine.
No, you need not log in. See, once you.
Okay, login is the activity which happens on a desktop object. Okay, run as does the same. Desktop is the visible object to a normal user. But similar operations happens at the kernel level when you use run as or any sort of way when you are impersonate. Even if you impersonate the thread token, similar things happens.
Okay. Multiple forensic evidence, the various keys where evidence can be present. System and user specific settings. System is, by system if I am mentioning system, it's HKLM key. We'll understand more in depth in the coming slides. Then the user specific settings is again your end-user.dat. Then comes the user assist, followed by MUI cache, MIU list, program cache, stream MIU, shellback, USB store, IE password, and many more. Now, I'll explain you some of the keys. I'll show you the manual process, but you can't do the manual process again and again at each and every project, because if you have got say 20 hard disks and you are analyzing the registry manually for each and every hard disk, it will take lot of time, and client is going to screw you why you are taking that much time. So for that, some of the advanced tools are there, and I'll show you those tools, how good they are, and they are open source tools free of cost. Followed by for this previous slides, I have mentioned the keys for each and every file. Now it is system and user specific settings. Oh, well, I have to break this into two parts. System is for HKLM that will be created by the system file, and user specific settings will be end-user.dat file. Okay. Now user assist keys files are as an HKCU. As soon as the term comes HKCU, you should point to end-user.dat file. And if it is HKLM, it's a system file. Agree? Now, if it's HKCU, the keys are like HKCU software, Microsoft Windows, Current Version, Explorer, user assist. Let's see this file, this particular key into the registry. Shucks. So command to access the registry is regedit. HKCU software, then Microsoft, Windows, current version, Explorer, user assist. Here are the keys. Can you see the contents of it? Just show them. If you want to see the part that I have navigated, you can easily refer this particular taskbar. HKCU software, Microsoft Windows, current version, Explorer, user assistant. These are the keys. Now, you are clear with this part, right?